I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today. I'll be playing some PS2 games using Moonlight and talking about the experience. We'll be starting off with a game called God Hand. Now, I really wanted to play this game, but it's expensive now, so used copies are going from anywhere from $100 to $150, which is insane. It's a pretty neat game. It's made by Clover Studios. It's a goofy beat 'em up with a lot of just humor. Okay. So there is one problem with this game. You have to use the right analog stick to dodge. It's very hard to find that. You're gonna have to just run around and hope for the best. You can see I'm just mashing buttons here. Down and punch will do a guard breaker. This guy's pretty funny. He kind of flies at you like a torpedo. Oh, just smacked me. There should be like a little... Oh, he's still alive. Alright, never mind. Okay, there should be like a little statue that pops up here. Okay, yeah, there it is. My god, fellas, let me pick up that card there. So yeah, since there's no dodge, you have to kind of run around. I did find a workaround, but it doesn't work that well. So my workaround was binding right analog stick to escape plus the directional keys. But what would happen instead was that it would just default to dashing around instead of moving around. And I would have to hold escape to move. I don't know if that's the fault of the emulator or the escape button or the menu button on the Miyoo Minis getting stuck. I have no idea. I'm using the standalone PCSX2 emulator. So yeah, right now how I'm playing is I'm using a phone as a hotspot, and my laptop and the Miyoo are connected to it. I'm using 2.4 gigahertz because I heard 5 gigahertz will kind of cause some issues. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't get the level up down mechanic either. Yeah, I highly recommend checking out this game though. It's pretty goofy. It's a lot of fun. Now, whether or not it's playable on the Miyoo Mini, that's another question. Okay. Now we're low on health. Let's go look for some food. Oh, there's a dude there, with a stick. Let me get the barrel and throw it at him. What's happening here? A little bit laggy on the hotspot. Oh, thanks, homie. He gave me an orange. Now I'm gonna destroy your furniture. Thank you for the food. Yeah, okay. So the best way I played on Moonlight was I would keep this device next to my router, and then I plugged in my laptop with the Ethernet cable, and that was the best experience I had. There was almost zero lag. There was some latency for God of War in that I couldn't do the QuickTime events because the prompts would show up, but then it was like I don't know, like it felt like a second behind or something. So I had to memorize the QuickTime sequences and then mash the buttons as fast as I could. Okay. Yeah, the reason why I'm using a hotspot with my phone right now is it's easier to record at my computer than it is to record over where my router is. So unfortunately, it's a subpar experience, but this is what I have to deal with to make it recordable. Also, another thing is the D-pad is a little bit too sensitive. I would like it a little bit lower. I'm assuming you can tweak that somewhere in the Moonlight config files, or even in the PC SX2 config files as well. It just okay. Yeah, it's more playable when I was using my laptop and the Wi-Fi was a lot better there. Okay, now we have God of War, and this one's kind of unplayable, and I'm going to show you why. This God of War 1 because God of War 2 had some issues. Kratos so emo. Yeah, by the way, the play experience in Moonlight totally depends on your router and whether or not your Miyoo Mini Plus has a decent. I don't know if it's a Wi-Fi antenna problem or some controller, but it seems like some people's devices just can't really handle Wi-Fi very well, while other people, it doesn't matter where they are in the house, it works fine. So I can't narrow it down to it being a router problem or the handheld problem. So this game struggles a little bit. I don't know if it's an emulation problem or part of my gameplay. It's not gonna be very good here because I've not really played these games. It really interests me back in the day when I had a PS2. I was more into JRPGs and Metal Gear Solid. That man, those were the times, man. I actually like Metal Gear Solid too. I didn't mind riding at all. I know people were disappointed, but I had a lot of fun with the game. Honestly, it's just better to play a game and just not look it up online because if you have fun with it, that's great. If you don't, that's unfortunate. But like people's opinions online are like they shouldn't affect how you perceive a game, in my opinion. People will say, "Oh no, it doesn't affect me," but it does. It really does. Like plants little seeds of thoughts into your head, and it kind of affects how you perceive something. So I found that I've enjoyed things way more if I just never look it up online at all. Just grab this guy here and mash R2. Okay, you'll quickly see why it's very hard to play this game using the D-pad in the next section. Besides the Moonlight problems, but I think y'all know what's coming up here. Also, you can feel the delay here in this game in the QuickTime sequences. I don't know why, but even just blocking, it feels like you're kind of a second too late. And sometimes it's definitely my fault, where I don't do it early enough, but other times it's just like I clearly pressed it, but the stream was just a little bit late. It's struggling here. So would I call this playable? I mean, the lag you can sort of put up with, but the delays with the... Okay, so I got a match triangle here. What it was a straight up fail. There we go. Oh, oh my god. I forgot about that one. That's so lame. Okay. That's what I mean. Like, it just... I wish the Miyoo Mini Plus had just a little bit more power. And I wish it had a little bit better or more reliable Wi-Fi. Now, I did see the announcement for the... Was it the 830? It looks really, really good. Like a Game Boy Micro. And it is going to be a little bit better in that it's going to have a GPU. But I don't know about the Wi-Fi and everything else, so we'll see what the spec... Oh, yeah, it's kind of laggy there. What's going on? So remember, you gotta memorize the QuickTime sequences and then mash the buttons as soon as it comes out. So if it's not something that's the same every time, you're kind of screwed. There we go. All right, this section here. Oh my god, like I can't, I can't even do this. This is like, this is impossible, fellas. On a D-pad, like, at least with the sensitivity settings as we have it. It is almost impossible. This is like playing Trauma Center on the DS with D-pad. It just... Okay, anyways, there you have it. It's a lot better when I was nearer to my router and I had my laptop plugged in, but I would classify this as sort of playable, but there's too many things you have to do to make up for the latency, memorizing the QuickTime events. And then you just get to sequences where you need an analog stick, and it's going to be almost impossible to get through unless you tweak with the sensitivity settings for the D-pad. Okay, so I know Persona 3 Reloaded has come out recently. It's pretty popular. This is just regular Persona 3. It's not even Fez. I found the undub version with the remix OST. It's pretty neat hearing the Japanese dialogue with a kind of revamped soundtrack here. This game sort of works okay. I didn't play through a lot of it. I'll load my game here. Oh, it's circle. Is it circle or X? Yeah, it just didn't register the input. The confusing thing about PlayStation was, it's sometimes X is confirmed, but sometimes X is cancel. It depends. I think it had to do with games with control schemes from Japan differed compared to the default American kind of layout. Yeah, again, the sensitivity is a little too high to my liking. But once you get used to it, it's not too bad. One thing I noticed was for early PS2 games, they don't really use the right analog stick for a camera for a lot of these games, and that's something I kind of like, where you don't have to rely on a second analog stick, and that makes it very playable on limited hardware. Now, if they use it, yeah, you're gonna be a little bit out of luck there. So I actually had Persona 3 Fez, but I never played it for more than an hour. I don't know why. It just never caught on to for me. The game that I played the most was Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, I think. And that was pretty much it. We go back to, yeah, I will. So that is a possible solution, by the way. If you can't get Moonlight to work, it's not going to be ideal, but you can connect it to your phone's hotspot. And you don't need internet for it, you just need a Wi-Fi network. And it seems to work okay. It's significantly worse than me, connecting my laptop to my router with Ethernet cable and then putting my Miyoo right next to my router. But it's sort of playable. So if you wanted to play some PS2 games, this might work, but I gotta say, not every game is in a playable state. I'm gonna show you some that are gonna be very difficult to play with the Miyoo Mini Plus. Katamari Damacy is one of them. This game seems to be working okay though. Wait, if you need help setting up Moonlight, I have a video up already detailing how to set up everything. It's relatively simple, it's just that getting it to work might be a little bit difficult. The setup is very simple. You just install Sunshine on your computer, install the resolution matcher script, and then copy over the Moonlight files onto your Miyoo Mini Plus, and then just pair them together, and then you're good to go. It takes a little bit of time for this game to get going, so I'm not gonna have enough time to show off the game. If you want to watch me do a playthrough, let me know, and I'll do it on my PC. It'll be a much better experience than on the Miyoo Mini Plus, but man, I'm very sad because I had a very large collection of retro games in either brand new factory seal condition or near mint. I was very OCD as a child and I took meticulous care of all my games. So they were all complete in box. And yeah, I was broke, so I sold all of them, and now they're way too expensive to buy back when I feel like building up my collection just a little bit again. Mostly just the hardware. I would want a few games, but I just miss my, Game Boy Color, my DS Lite. I had a Game Boy Advance, the OG one. I had all these different systems. Man, it's gone now. It's all gone. It's all gone. I'll never get it back, but that's fine. That's why I like these devices, because it lets you at least play some games. And it kind of has a nostalgia factor. This one totally reminds me of my Game Boy Color. I had the Atomic Purple, and it kind of reminds me of that. So it's actually a lot better than the Game Boy Color, in my opinion. In that you can play up to PS1 games and even DS games on this, so definitely better. But okay, there's gonna be a cutscene where you meet Igor, and then the game takes off from there. So we'll move on to our next title. Okay, now we have Katamari Damacy. What I did was I remapped the right analog stick to match the face buttons on PCSX2, and then R3 and L3 are start and select. And I'm just showing this off because sometimes Sunshine, the automatic resolution matcher script, won't turn on. And so it'll have this, just restart Sunshine and Moonlight and you should be good to go. But I just wanted to show what it looks like when it doesn't match properly. So this game is kind of unplayable, but we'll just show off what it looks like. The struggle is going to be real with this game. This used to be one of my favorite games of all time. Yep. I have to use the face buttons. You might be able to beat the game like this, but I don't know if you want to. As you can see when I'm mashing X, the controller is going down still. It's gonna skip through. So you have to, the rebind hijinks you have to do is a little bit, yeah. I don't know why we don't have more games like Katamari, honestly. It's just like, you're just collecting things. That's what you do in games anyways now. Yeah, having an analog stick would be so much better, but just gonna end on this to show that you can play it, but it's not gonna be ideal. This game goes hard though. Highly recommend it if you want a goofy game. God Hand is also good. Katamari Damacy, I've actually beaten. There was a game called Tulip. I didn't play it, but that's also kind of a quirky game. These are little quirky gems. How dare you, mouse? I will get you later. Just you wait until my Katamari's bigger. Alright, we're gonna call it here. But yeah, hopefully this gave you guys an idea what PS2 is like on the Miyoo Mini Plus. Yeah, it's not the best. Yeah, you definitely need better hardware. You definitely need two analog sticks. You definitely need better Wi-Fi connections. Depending on your handle, some people have good connections. I don't. Leave me alone, mouse. Okay, well, it's gonna be until next time, fellas.